How are the nerves, people? How are we feeling? It's Arsenal versus Liverpool, and after Brighton did us a favour at the Etihad, coming from 1 goal behind against Man City, we have the chance to go 8 points clear. Because Palace did us a favour too, drawing 0-0 with Aston Villa, and Arsenal can really grab a hold. Of course, it starts playing loud on my phone, even though I turned it down, which is absolutely typical. But how are the nerves? How are we feeling, people? A chance to 8 points clear. 8 points clear of Man City. And I keep saying to people that we've had this position before 2-3 years ago. In 2023, so 3 years ago. And a lot of people keep saying, well, no, technically, I think City had a game in hand on us. And I don't think that's true, but I mean, feel free to dispute it in the comments. But what is true is we hadn't played City once. So where it was slightly skewed is we'd basically played one of the second half of the season games earlier because of the Man City game being postponed because of the passing of the Queen here in England. So what we basically had was this situation where, yes, City were 8 points behind, but with 2 games against us to try and claw that back, and that made a big difference because they did beat us twice. This is an opportunity, knowing we only have one trip to the Etihad, and it's all the way at the end of April. So it does give us a pretty strong position if we can win this game and chalk off another massive game where Man City have dropped points away to Sunderland, who have players at AFCON, albeit they're a very good side, of course. At home to Chelsea, a managerless Chelsea, and at home to Brighton, who've been pretty inconsistent. So it's a massive, massive opportunity. Now, as you can see from the title, we've got a little bit more to talk about. Can you all see that? Yeah. We've brought screen sharing. Shout out to Max and the brilliant work he does. We got to talk about Marc Guehi and this link, which we covered on Goonerverse News, but David Ornstein has confirmed it. About 10-15 minutes ago, this came out. He confirmed that Arsenal do hold a interest in Marc Guehi, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We're also going to talk about starting 11s and everything like that. When the 11 comes out, we'll look at it here on screen, and we'll obviously talk tactics a little bit too and get an idea for how that could actually look as well. So plenty to go into. Please, drop me there's Max in the comments. Everyone show some love for Max and the amazing work he's done to bring this all together. Get your thoughts in, get your comments in. Marc Guehi, do you think we could be signing him? Do you think Marc Guehi could be an Arsenal player in January? So many people dispute it. I think it's possible, but I appreciate there's a lot of work to do. So should we go into exactly what David Ornstein said and bring this back up on screen? So Arsenal retain long-held Marc Guehi interest. He says, though, most likely as a summer option. Arsenal are discussing the Crystal Palace defender and are in touch with the 25-year-old's camp. Liverpool also won the England international at the end of the season. Man City keen immediately. And he credits John Cross, who was obviously the first to say that Arsenal do want to sign Marc Guehi. There is a lot to unpack here. And the reason I say there's a lot to unpack is because it's so difficult, as I said on Goonerverse News, to get into the mind of Marc Guehi with this. It's so difficult to get into his mind. What does he want? Let's look at it from so many angles. You could be a first choice for Man City because Diaz and Gvardiol are out for a while. Gvardiol's likely to miss the rest of the season. Stones isn't proving his fitness. Ake has had injury problems, doesn't look his best either. They had a debutant at centre-back. So it's not like you got to worry about game time and minutes ahead of the World Cup, which would obviously be in his mind. But does he want to leave Crystal Palace? He's halfway through a season with them. Who knows what kind of success they could have? They could quite possibly win the Conference League, have another cup run. You never know. Finish high, in the Premier League once again. Play under Glasner. He's loved there. He's adored there. He plays some of his best football there, and maybe that's the safest option from an England perspective too. But the other thing, if you are going to leave Palace, then would you rather go to the side that, you're playing with better defenders at Arsenal? I don't think that's disputable. Let's hope I haven't jinx that for tonight, but I think even City fans will admit that Arsenal have the upper hand on the defensive side. So would you want to play with a Gabriel, with a Saliba, right? And not think of it as competing with them, but actually have the pleasure of playing with them? You could also say that for playing with Haaland, Guardiola and all that. I get that. You could stay in London. And Arsenal at the moment look favourites to win the Premier League. Let's hope we do the business tonight and we can stamp our authority on that a little bit more. So if you want to leave in January, where do you go? Do Liverpool come forward in January, having tried to sign him at the end of last summer? And then do you ultimately just say, thanks, but no thanks, I'm going to wait till the summer and see what contract offers are there? And then you're probably going to get a bit more money if you're Marc Guehi because there's no transfer fee being spent. It's a really, really interesting situation that Marc Guehi's in here. I don't know. I actually don't know where this is going to go. I mean, I have to say, I lean towards he leaves in January and goes to Man City because I think Man City will be quite aggressive. I think they'll say, look, the spot's there. Play under Pep, play for Man City, earn great money, play for a great team, maybe win the Premier League. Obviously, we hope they don't, but maybe, right? It's very possible. Maybe lift some silverware and still have your place in the England team pretty much cemented because you're playing for one of the biggest clubs in the country, one of the best clubs in the country at a very high level. It's only going to do his coaching good. It's only going to do, from a coaching perspective, it's only going to do him good is what I'm trying to say. And, he would benefit from playing for Man City. Of course he would. Let's not pretend he wouldn't. And then if Arsenal know that City are going big for him, how do they respond? How do they, sorry, I'm just making sure I don't lose the super chat. How do Arsenal respond to the idea that Marc Guehi might be going there on a permanent? Arsenal Arteta have kept an eye on this player for a long time. Do they pick up the phone and go, all right, look, we'll do it? A little bit like with Eberechi Eze. Andrea Berta has proven that he's ready to strike. He's ready to just say, yeah, he's ready to go, yep, no worries. We can get everything in place, and if you want to do the deal, we'll do it. I think it's worth going over what John Cross said, because he was the one who broke the news, and I think we should give him some credit for it. Let me get it up here. Here we go. Okay, bring this back on your screen. Do see the super chats, people. We'll get to them in just a sec. Thank you for being so patient. Exclusive from John Cross. Arsenal ready to enter the race to sign Marc Guehi. Man City are pushing hard to get deal done this month. European superpowers Arsenal, Bayern Munich and Liverpool also in the mix. It could take £40 million and a huge contract for City to beat the summer rush. Yeah, there you go. Fair play to him. I mean, I said in my video that this is someone who is reliable to a degree from an Arsenal perspective. Has he got things wrong? Sure, but is he largely right and well connected? I believe so. And he was spot on with this one. So fair play to John Cross on that. What do we think is going to happen? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will go through all your super chats, all your comments. So ETAFC says, to answer your questions, said Jamesworth. Thank you. 8 out of 10 nervous about the game. Yeah, fair enough. Also, we need Guehi to rest Gavin Saliba accordingly and to block City. You could just do it to block City. That would be funny. Electro says, James, we miss you on watch-alongs. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Any chance that you'll return to doing them in some shape or form? See, with watch-alongs, can I be so honest with you all? I struggled with them. And it's not like, when I say struggle with them, it's not, I have a great time. I had a great time doing them on AFTV. I had a great time doing them. I do them with, obviously, TalkSport. I've been with the club. I have a great time doing them. I just come away from them feeling like, this is how I was reacting the 20th minute. And actually, by the 70th minute, I had more information. So I now feel differently about the 20th. Like, I don't think it's a fair reflection of how I feel about the game after. But it's kind of all there on camera, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, I've always quite liked just being to myself and just focusing on the game and then coming with my thoughts after. If you guys really want it, if people really want watch-alongs, then maybe I could look into it in some way, shape or form. Maybe I can do them in another way with other people. But I have been on TalkSport, the Goals Show, and I've been with the club. So, yeah, there are places where I'm doing watch-alongs, and I'll make sure to let you know when I'm doing them. Yeah, okay, cool. So, sorry, weird comment. Hello, Goonerverse. How's your James? That's a strange comment, but thank you so much. James, did you see the stat, says Hector, where Eze actually played more games for Arsenal up to this point this season compared to when he was at Palace? Yeah. I saw that shared by my good friend Sam Blitz, who's basically saying, he's a journalist at Sky, and he was saying that he's played something like 27 games by this point of the season, but by this point in the last few seasons with Palace, he'd played 19, 18, 17, something like that. But you know what? We have the screen share option, so I can actually share this with you. I need to get used to the fact that we actually have this. So bear with me one sec. Here we go. Because I think this is really interesting. Have a little look here. Shout out to Hassan. We went to school together and we've always wanted to be sports journalists. He's a good friend of mine. He does brilliant work. So everyone go give Sam Blitz a follow. He says, lots of reasons why Eberechi Eze has been left out of Premier League games recently, but perhaps the main reason may be this. Another example of Arteta and the club perhaps learning from past load management issues and thinking about the bigger picture. Past load management issues. There we go. So the number of games Eberechi has played before Christmas. For Arsenal, he'd played 27 for club and country. For Palace, 19, 14 the season before that, and 15 the season before that. So really, really, really interesting set of stats that Sam's bringing there. And I think it speaks volumes of why the load management might be a thing, why Arsenal are just being careful, and I totally understand that. And also, he hasn't played brilliantly, so he's taken time out of the team, and I don't think there's been context in recent games to bring him in to bring him into them. But I'm okay with that. Like, I'm so fine with that. Eze's going to play a big part for Arsenal, I've no doubt. We're soon going to get the 11s. Some early reports. Apparently, Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Ekitike is out of the squad tonight. Let's have a little look at what Fabrizio Romano has said. People, Ekitike out for tonight would be a big miss for them, admittedly. I can't see that anywhere. I can't see a report anywhere that says Ekitike is out. But I will double check. Ekitike, here we go. Let's have a quick Google search. A lot of accounts are saying it. Okay. Well, look, if this is anything to go off, I can't admit I'm an expert on the Liverpool social media journalist side of things. But according to Chris Royce, Hugo Ekitike is ruled out for tonight's key game versus Arsenal. So I can't see the post from Fabrizio Romano, but okay. We're going to find out in 3 minutes anyway. And then when we do, we will obviously be discussing it right here, which you'll see in just a sec. Bam. These are the last 11s. Arsenal's 11 versus Bournemouth, and Liverpool's 11 in their 2-2 draw at Fulham, I believe it was. I think that was their last game. So there's every chance it's the same 11, but we will see very, very, very shortly if that is what the teams are going to look like. I imagine they will be pretty much the same outside of Trossard and Saka coming from Madueke. Sorry. Yeah, Saka and Trossard coming from Madueke and Martinelli. Okay, what else are other people saying? Get your score predictions in, people. Actually, no, do you know what? Save that for when we've got the 11s out, because we'll be live for another 15, 20 minutes or so discussing the 11s, how this could look. Some people are saying that Jones is potentially out. Some people are saying, have you seen the stuff about Erdegaard's contract and how he isn't favoured by Berta? I haven't seen that. I would be surprised if that's true, but let's see. Apparently Fabrizio Romano confirmed it on Facebook. Okay, fine. Thank you. We will see soon, won't we? But thank you for letting me know. Madfoot saying, Eze can play Chelsea in the Carling Cup and Champions League in January. There is so much football to play. Let's remind you all of how much football Arsenal are going to be playing this month. It is crazy. Absolutely mental. Here we go. Look at the amount of football here. We're one game in already to January. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 games. 9 games. Unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever I don't know if I've ever known more football matches in a month, personally. It's an extraordinary amount of games. For Arsenal, anyway. 4 away games in 4 separate competitions. Premier League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, Champions League. 4 away games in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is a huge task at Arsenal's door. But I think we've got the tools to do it. And Eze is going to be a part of that. Okay. Any minute now, we're going to get the 11. I'm going to keep refreshing the Arsenal page and then show you the Arsenal 11 as soon as it's announced. We are very, very, very close to the starting 11. Any surprises you expect to see? Any surprises you expect to see for this game? Let me know in the comment section below. James, have you reminded Jordan that we're playing tonight? Very good. What else have we got? Calafiori, Mascara, Havertz still out, says Matthew. Okay, we'll find that. We'll find out very soon. Okay, it's 6:45 on the dot. It's Arsenal's 11. Should be announced. Not quite yet. We're going to keep refreshing. Drop it in the chat if you see it. Do you have any mods? I haven't seen any, says Lee Slims. Yeah, we do. Not many, but I need to get better at that. So yeah, my bad on that. They're still taking their time with the 11. Oh, John Daly says it's out. I still can't see it. Come on, Arsenal. No. We're all waiting. I think we know what it's going to be. But my word, they're making us wait for it. Okay. Well, the comments are saying that it's pretty much what we expected. Are you all getting this from the Arsenal? Here it is. Here it is. All right. Let's bring this up on your screens. Boom! Raya in goal. Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Nkapie at left back. Zubimendi, Rice, Erdegaard, Saka, Trossard, and Gyökeres gets the start. On the bench, as you can see here, Kepa, White, Jesus, Eze, Martinelli, Norgard, Madueke, Marino, Lewis Skelly. So that means no Calafiori, no Mosquera, no Havertz, no Waneri. Okay, that's fine. I think that is just to do with the size of the squad and the lack of space on the bench. And I think that is fine. I don't think there's anything to be concerned about there. But what a strong 11. I think it's pretty much what we all predicted. It's what I predicted on my short that went out on my channel here on the Goonerverse recently. Yeah, that is a very strong 11. Gyökeres keeps his place. It's what I wanted. Is it what you all wanted? Let me know in the comments. Is it the 11 that you all wanted? While you do that, I'm going to get the Liverpool 11 in front of us because I think that is going to be even more interesting. Here we go. We've got it in front of us. Alisson. Why do they do this in numbered order? So the back four is Van Dijk, Konate, Kirkes, and Bradley. So the mid... Oh. Okay. So they're going McAllister and Gravenberch as a 2. Frimpong on the right. Wirtz on the left. Zabozlai in the 10. Gakpo up front. That's what they're going for. I tell you what. That 11 absolutely has the potential to frustrate us, you know. That absolutely has the potential to frustrate us. Ekitike is not in the squad. He's not in the 11. And he's not on the bench. Mamadashvili, Woodman, Gomez, Chiesa, Jones, Robertson, Nioni, Ramsey, Rio, and Gamoa. Okay. Those are the 11s, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below and in the live chat. What do you make of it? What do you make of those two 11s? Now, while we do that, if you bear with me, I'm going to get the 11s ready here on screen. We can talk tactics a little bit. I think this is really, really interesting, especially that Frimpong at right wing thing. I wasn't expecting that, but he did come on and do quite well, didn't he? Got an assist for Gakpo. Okay, pretty sure that's the 11 then for Liverpool. Nothing more to do there. And Arsenal, we're taking out Madueke and Martinelli, and we're bringing in Saka and Trossard. Where are you, Trossard? Why is he so difficult to find? There we go. All right, people. Let's talk about this tactically a little bit now. Boom. All right, so you got it there. So these are the 11s for the game. Yeah, I mean, people are saying Saka versus Kirkes in the group chat. Oh, Ashwan from Cape Town. I don't know what is Ashwan your name or is your name Gordon? Anyway, I'm going to Cape Town soon, so love to everyone in Cape Town. Okay, so we'll talk key battles, we'll talk tactics, we'll talk shapes a little bit because I think this gets really interesting. Um, because I think there's some really good key battles. Let's talk about it in some detail then. Okay, first and foremost, we move Arsenal up the pitch. Gyökeres versus these two, going to be interesting. I wonder which side he's going to peel across. I really wonder which side he's going to peel across. I wonder whether he's going to try and pull off to Konate, get in a battle with him, who's not having a great season. But then Konate, weirdly, I actually think is more physical than Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk's the better player, but I think Konate is a bit more physical and might rough Gyökeres up a little bit more. Really interesting to see what he does, but I think the fact that Ødegaard sort of gets into this pocket here, I think suggests he might drift this way a little bit. Then we know that Arsenal will obviously move players up the pitch, but I do think they're going to try and be combative here, and I don't think Rice is going to venture forward too much. Maybe later in the game, but the reason I say this is because this midfield of Liverpool, I think, will be very, very, very narrow. I think it's going to be a really, really, really narrow midfield block here. This space, I think, is going to be really congested. I think that's going to be tough for Arsenal to play through. I really do. I think the likes of Szoboszlai, we know he's going to cover for Frimpong when he gets across. We know he's going to drop into the spaces to make it more of a flat three at times. I think Arsenal have their work cut out for them, and I think this has the potential to be a really, really congested area. With Trossard coming in, we know that Gyökeres drops deep. We know that Ødegaard might try and receive possession as well. And I think you basically just find everyone trying to play in this space, which, if you do bring these players into play, because we know Timber likes to invert, hopefully what you get is battles here. We want that to be a battle. And, call me crazy, there's a good chance that Nketiah is able to go on the outside a little bit more up against Bradley. But then I also wonder whether we might just be a little bit more sensible with Nketiah and Timber tucked in a touch, and we just have Trossard and Saka in those one-on-one battles out wide and leaving them quite high up to expose Liverpool in those areas of the pitch. But I think that's going to be a really congested central part of the pitch for me. In fact, I would love to see if we just clear everything. Clear drawings? Yeah, cool. If we were to see, let's say, let's move everyone here up a little bit, right? Even more, actually. Bear with me, everyone. I'm still learning how to use this a little bit. If we move everyone up the pitch together, I would love to see what Gyökeres is doing. We analysed it recently on a video of Gyökeres. I would love to see him just stretching the pitch. Yes, he works back. Yes, he works really, really hard. But I would love to see him high and just constantly giving Van Dijk and Konate something to think about going the other way. I think that'd be really, really interesting. Rice could have to step onto Gravenberch, that's for sure. Ødegaard, he showed some real physicality against Villa. We're going to need that too. So Mendy's going to have to put himself about because Szoboszlai will be a workhorse. I think it's going to be a tough game, people. I really, really do. I think that's a midfield that's actually designed to stop us. And I know they've done this a little, a few times. I know they have been doing. Who are the four Dutch players? Gakpo, Frimpong, Gravenberch. Anyway, and Van Dijk, of course. I know they've been playing this system for a few weeks now, but I do just wonder whether it's like really built to try and contain. Yes, they haven't had some good results since that PSV 4-1 defeat, but since that day where they got battered 4-1, they have been a side who have been difficult to beat. I mean, they've been unbeaten, and they've been more competitive, and the games haven't felt quite as crazy. Like I said, shape-wise, I think it will be something like this. I think Trossard and Saka will actually be wide. I think Nketiah will pick his moments. I think Timber will pick his moments. And I think there's every chance it looks really like a flat 4-3-3 with Ødegaard pulling wide at times to try and create space centrally. Maybe Timber then makes runs in the middle, but I don't see Ødegaard sitting really high like he did a few years back when we beat them 3-1 at the Emirates. So yeah, Really, really interesting game. Really interesting to see how this one's going to play out. Key battles wise, let's highlight them. Oh, brilliant. Konate Gyökeres, Bradley Trossard, Kirkez Saka. I think Gakpo's going to pull off into Saliba. I think that's one. And you know what, people? I think this one. I know a lot of people might think that, you know what, Erdegaard against McAllister is a big battle, or, you know, maybe Frimpong up against Nkapie, or Gravenberch against Rice. I think Szoboszlai Zubimendi, because I think we play our best football when Zubimendi gets on the ball and can run the game for us, when he's the outlet from the press, when he's slipping passes in behind or over the top in the final third, when he's getting forward as well as Declan Rice, not just Declan doing it, but together they're getting forward and bombing forward and making things happen. And Szoboszlai is the kind of road runner who can just clamp him down and make that a difficult game for him. And I really, really hope that Zubimendi just gets into a rhythm, can play the kind of football we know he's capable of. And I think that's a key battle. Zubimendi can escape Szoboszlai. And to escape him, he might have to do a few things. He might have to pull out wide at times to let Erdegaard, you know, drop in as well. He might have to go up in the higher pockets, as might Rice. He might even drift to the right to allow Rice to get forward a little bit more. I do think Arsenal will try and be quite inventive and fluid in their build-up, because I do think Liverpool will be like quite aggressive. I don't think they're going to sit back and park the bus. I just think they've now got a lot more to sit back on if they need to in terms of defensive reliability. And I just don't see a high-scoring game. I don't. But if we get it, I'm hoping it's in favour of us, obviously. Okay, I think that's pretty much it from me in terms of key battles, the 11, anything like that. Let's go through your super chats, because I think I've missed some. Connor says, "Hi James, not into YouTube pundits since most chat." Okay, BS about anything for views, fair enough. "You're so refreshing. Glad to find your channel. Appreciate the content." Thank you. That's you know, there's a lot of people in the YouTube space that are doing great work, but thank you so much for the kind words and for tuning in and for finding the channel and being a part of this all. I really, really appreciate it. Sharoy is in the chat. He says, "I agree regarding their narrow block. Key is to find our wide players quickly for me, particularly give their fullbacks choices." I completely agree with that as well, Sharoy. I think you're spot on. There's another super chat I've missed from Big Stepper. "If Arteta is as good as we think he is, he should destroy Slot tactically." So he's never beaten Slot. I made a mistake on my short that went out saying that this is the third time they're meeting. It just feels so early in the season. I forgot we lost them at the beginning. But yes, fourth time they're meeting, Arteta's never beaten Slot. So yeah, he'll have a game plan for him, and hopefully he can prove something. But Slot's a tactically good manager himself. Although I think Slot's more about a particular principle of play, whereas Arteta's more about the intricacies of game per game. But there we go. So Big Step says, "If Arteta's as good as we think he is, he should destroy Slot tactically. This game will tell us a lot about how good he really is. He has the 11 and the subs to literally do what he likes tonight." Okay, I read that one. I think there's another one. Big Step, I think you sent your super chat in twice. So thank you for that. But there was no need, but thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. How nervous are we? Send your score predictions in, and from 1 to 10, how nervous are you? Because Scottish Gunner says, "I'm quite nervous." What else have we got? Rice versus Szoboszlai. People are saying it's going to be a big battle. The way we beat Bayern is how we need to play, says Al Caesar. Gabriel's set piece goal would be boiling rivals. Yeah, I hear you. You're not wrong. Saka should be cooking him today. Let's hope he does. Bro, be more confident. They ain't going to do anything but try and kick everyone's shins. Let's hope they don't kick our shins. Let's hope we destroy them. Was so late, so played at 2 times speed to catch up. Now it's live. It sounds like James is drunk. Fair play, English. Thank you so much for tuning in. Rishi, how are you, mate? In the comments. James, am I doing a watch along? No, I'm not doing a watch along. But as I said earlier in the stream, if people think that's something that they'd want to see one day, then maybe I can look into it. James, all I want for this game is 2 things. Don't think you've got time on the ball. Also, shoot from outside the box. Yeah, exactly. Don't be too confident. Don't be arrogant on the ball. So you just don't be complacent. Basically, comments are coming in. 2-0, 3-0, 3-1 says Max, 2-0 Arsenal, 3-0, 4-1, semi-nervous, 4-1, an 8 out of 10 in terms of nerves for Alex. I'm not nervous, we win 3-1 says Northern Spartan. Okay, really interesting to see. Do you think Isak and Madueke are better suited in this game using their pace to create space from midfield, says Isak. Maybe, but I just think Trossard and Saka are the better players and they've got some space, so leaving them out would be criminal, but I see what you're saying. I think we're going to go for a 2-1 win. I think we're going to get a 2-1 win. That's what I'm going for. Everyone, a big, big, big thank you for tuning into a newish piece of content. We are doing more live streams ahead of big games. For the Villa one, we did it well ahead of time with the Rice injury and other things. This we've done, with the 11 coming out. If you've enjoyed it, please, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. We can do more of these for sure. But I hope you enjoyed it. A half-hour look at the tactics, a half-hour look at the Marc Guehi stuff that David Ornstein's now confirmed, and just a look at tactics and stuff as well. If you want more of this, let me know and we can do that in future. Huge thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this, and I'll catch you all very soon. Enjoy the game. Come on, Arsenal. Let's get a massive win tonight. Let's try and open that points gap even more, and let's really, really just be on course for an amazing season. It starts tonight against Liverpool, and if you're at the Emirates and you're going, make some noise. Make it loud. Make it intimidating. All right, I'll leave it there. Catch you in a bit.